let's get into this Jayden Daniels vibe check, Pop. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, all in bold on my outline, it says Pop has a surprise take. Pop,
I got a surprise take.
give the people your surprise take on Jayden Daniels.
Listen up, people. We should thank Ron Rivera. That's my surprise take.
Because he blew it so bad that we got Jayden
Everybody's complaining about Jahan Dotson and his poor picks and the fact that he picked, Chase instead of a quarterback. We wouldn't have Jayden Daniels on the team. We picked Chris Olave and some of these other great players. We wouldn't have the number 2 pick in the draft. And to be honest, it was the perfect timing for Ron to be there and screw everything up, because who knows? If we have success as a team, maybe something different happens with Dan Snyder. If the fans are coming out to the stadium, maybe he gets a slap on the wrist instead of being gone. Yeah. Thank Ron Rivera. Send him thank you cards. He did us a favor to put us in this position. Have Jayden Daniels on our team. Stop killing the man. He was the perfect coach for the perfect time.
Incredible, Pop. Incredible. And you know what? I'm going to add to that. Thank Ryan Fitzpatrick. Because you know
going on the water slide.
Thank the water slide demon, Ryan Fitzpatrick, my buddy. I ran into him at LAX. He had his floaties on as he was going through security. Thank Ryan Fitzpatrick, because Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Miami Dolphins, he missed an incompletion. We would have got Joe Burrow if he missed.
Thank you, Carson Wentz.
There you go. That's incredible. Thank you, William Jackson III. We can do this all day. We'll be here till tomorrow. But we would have had Joe Burrow, and I guarantee you, Pop, we get Joe Burrow, we're making Super Bowl runs. Danny Boy's not selling the team. So
it's
hurt, but that's a good take. That's a good take on that, Pop. I like that. That's funny. But where are we at with Jayden Daniels? Because, he's so far, we love what we see personally inside of DC, but nationally, there's been a little bit of up and down in terms of this is just the time of the year where everybody feels like they need to make a hot take. Everybody feels like they need to have an opinion. I mean, we're here doing a podcast. We feel that way too, right? But there's been a little bit of talk about, hey, Daniels is only throwing the ball really short. He's only throwing these timing routes, these hitch routes, 1.91 seconds time to throw, which would be an all-time NFL record, I believe, if he maintains that over the course of the season, which I have shocking news for you. Guys, every NFL offense has 5 and 7-step drops. He will be taking 5 and 7-step drops during the regular season, and that number will go up a lot. It's called the preseason. We're trying to not get him hurt because we know what we have and we know how good he is. Anyways, 5.5 air yards per attempt. The shortest in the NFL last season was 5.7. 12 completions, 15 pass attempts. He did lead 3 scoring drives. I'm not going to count that missed field goal because that should be automatic if you have a good kicker. Sure. So let's say he leads 3 scoring drives. So, Pop, what do you make of this? Is it time? I mean, there was a whole 2-hour segment on sliding on the radio earlier this week.
I want to hear your take on the sliding.
Well, what do you make of this?
I look. He can only do what he's asked to do. And anyone that knows football that's watching this knows that this was the game plan. They didn't want to take risks with Jayden Daniel in the preseason. They wanted to get him some snaps. They wanted to get him running the offense. They ran a little hurry up. But this is the game plan. And it never occurred to me any of that as I watched him play. And I always kind of go with the eye test. And I thought how he got the ball out of his hands was amazing. And what's one of our major concerns? The offensive line. And if you're moving the ball and you're moving the chains, who cares if they're short passes? And the threat that he gives, running the ball and the read option and the freezing of the defense, and the fact that the way that he's placing the ball. And, these 5 and 10 yard sideline routes are not short throws. That's a misnomer. Yeah. He's dropping back 5-7 yards, and he's throwing the ball across the field a good 15-20. Those are the pick 6 balls if you don't have the right arm, if you don't have the right accuracy, So he's just running the offense that's in front of him. because that's what's being called because they want to protect him. Now, Cliff Kingsbury, who's also gotten a little criticism in this, what seemed to have been the week to kind of tear Jayden Daniels down a little bit, which just seems how things work, because he does like to run that quick game. He does like to run that short pass quick game. But you know who else does a lot of that? Pat Mahomes, right? He does a lot of that too, and they seem pretty successful with a couple of 3 rings there. So, I just think it's yes, is pumping the brakes on Jayden Daniels' fever probably a prudent thing to do? Of course. Until we see him play in the regular season, I'm a little concerned about his weapons, especially at receiver. But he's doing what he's being asked to do. And the short pass game has as much to do with them protecting him in the preseason. And Kingsbury's come out and said they're not showing everything. They're not showing their full offense. The guy is known for being a heck of an accurate passer down the field. We've seen it on the one pass to Diami. We've seen it on practice film after practice film after practice film. He can throw the ball deep, no doubt about it. His pocket presence in terms of his, ability to feel the pocket, feel the sack, maybe not get too happy and running too quick. That remains to be seen. I'll admit we haven't seen that yet in games, and you're not going to see that in practice, right? Because you don't have to worry about getting hit. But I think it's funny, that there's I think most of the reporting has been pretty positive. It's not all going to be positive, and it shouldn't be. But I feel like all he's doing is throwing sideways or short passes is a little bit ridiculous. He's doing what he's asked to do.
You want my take on that?
Yeah.
If all he's doing is throwing short hitch routes and he's 12 for 15 and he leads 3 scoring drives, that's winning football.
Yep.
What's his job? His job is to run the offense, command the team, and lead us to victory. That is the quarterback's job. If that's what he's being asked to do and that's what he's capable of, who cares? Who cares? I personally, Pop, if we win 10 games next season and Jayden Daniels dinks it and dunks it for 250 yards a game and we have a great running attack, our defense is solid, and Daniels makes the throws when he needs to, but it's nothing overly flashy, and we win 10 games, how do you feel? How do you feel at the end of that year?
I love it. I mean,
you're thrilled, right?
It's the right way to coach. It's the right way to coach a rookie quarterback.
There's that too.
And if he's getting the ball out of his hands in 2 seconds, and we're running the ball effectively, and we're moving the chains, it's going to drive a defense nuts. And guess what? They're not going to be able to tee off and rush him. And that's when you hit the deep ball on play action. That's how this works.
Yep. And you are talking about 0.4 of a second in the difference here. Like, these stats, these analytics, that's what annoys me.
You can't sack a guy that's getting it out of his hands in 2 seconds.
That's what annoys me about these analytics is, like, you look at 1.91 to 2.36. That's literally less than half a second. It looks like a big difference when you look at it on a piece of paper, but in practice, that's literally the difference between a receiver taking 4 steps versus 5 steps on a hitch route or something like that. These are small things, and I get it that level of precision is required to execute an offense, but these are also this is the flaw of the analytics age, in my opinion, is that you could put all these things, you could put all these numbers together and create all these pseudo compelling arguments, when at the end of the day, the kid led 3 scoring drives in his first 3 drives in the NFL in preseason, did everything he was supposed to do, hit his reads, got through his reads the way he was supposed to, called the check, has command of the offense, has command of the huddle, is ahead of schedule by every possible metric. Not to mention, the kid threw for 5,000 yards, rushed for 1,040 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, or whatever ludicrous number it was last year at LSU. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
But it's like I said, if the entire defense is focused on taking away the short game and the running game, they're not going to tee off on the rush. And that's when you can get the ball deep. And they will throw it deep because he's too talented as a deep ball thrower. They will. And drop back game, I just think is overrated. We did drop back game last year, and how did that work out for us?
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's you don't want to drop the guy back 5-7 with this offensive line repeatedly. You want to make that, like I said, play action play, things that you're keeping the defense off guard. And if you're getting the ball out of your hands in 2 seconds on the regular, they're going to be focused on that. I think it's brilliant, personally.
That's what Peyton Manning was doing when he was at his best. Peyton Manning was dicing up
he couldn't move
because he'd get to the line and he knew exactly where the ball was going before he snapped the ball, and he was making decisions super fast. That's what Aaron Rodgers, we all know how crazy he was with his legs and getting outside the pocket. Aaron Rodgers' bread and butter is being able, the West Coast offense, snap, hitch, throw. That's how offense has been successful in the NFL for years. And now we see, because of all these Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allens of the world who can run around in the backfield and make a crazy throw 80 yards down the field, defenses are starting to play too high shells and take that deep ball away. Mahomes was a point guard last year. Mahomes was dinking it, dunking down the field, making the throws at the right times, forcing the defense. Okay, the defense has now defaulted to, we're going to take the deep ball away from you and force you to play a 12-play drive, force you to make a 10-play drive, force you to stay patient and beat us. If he's capable of doing that, that's the way the game is shifting right now. But
the bigger point is they're not showing you their whole offense right now. That's the other point.
It's preseason.
They're not showing it to you.
It's preseason.
Look. Dan Quinn freaked out because he audibled to a deep pass, and he freaked out because he didn't slide. And I want to give you 60 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and then I say we wrap this up.
But it's obviously that they want to protect the kid, and that in preseason, and that's what they're doing. And honestly, if they carry a bit of that over into the regular season, and wanted to kind of slowly build up and have that success, I got no problem with it. So it's, that's the last I got to say on it, but I do want to hear 60 seconds on the clock, Dominic's take on Slidegate with Jayden Daniels.
All right. So 60 seconds on the clock, Slidegate starting now. This is the dumbest dialogue we have ever had in DC, a city known for dumb sports dialogues about irrelevant, stupid things.
Not just sports.
Yeah. Oh, well, the best. We're the best city in the world at dumb dialogue. And this is one of the dumbest sports dialogues we've had in this town. I think it's so stupid. I mean, Brian Mitchell said it best. I won't say his age, but he said, I'm X amount of years old and I could get off of this desk, run and slide right now. It's an intuitive athletic thing. I mean, Pop, do you think you could slide into home plate right now if you were playing?
I'm not sure. I want to be honest, without like busting an Achilles or something. I'm not sure.
You could do it. Would it be a reckless decision? Maybe, but you could physically do it. It's a basic athletic thing. The guy slid at Arizona State. He slid at LSU. It's more fun to show the Looney Tunes hits that he took on Twitter. I'll give you guys that. That's a lot more fun to see. But it's just you know what? If you want to have this discussion after week 3 at the Bengals and he's taken 12 big collisions, I'm ready to have that talk. I'm ready. Until then, when he's had one rush attempt in the preseason that didn't end in the end zone, and it was a 13-yard gain, by the way, that looked easy. It looked like it was an automatic 13-yard gain. Yeah, and he got caught from behind. These things are going to happen. You drafted a mobile quarterback. You drafted a guy who rushed for over 1,000 yards last year and won the Heisman Trophy. He's going to get hit. That might have been more than
he was asked about practicing sliding, and he said he hasn't. So that kind of also sparked.
Who cares?
I agree with everything you said.
Who cares? Why should he practice sliding? He's going to get hurt practicing sliding. Why should he practice sliding? Like, that's dumb.
He does have to protect himself, but he's got to be a baller too. If anything, I worry a little bit about them, Dan Quinn over emphasizing that. I mean, he's got to play. He's just got to play. And he's got to be smart, but hopefully it's that quick game. It's the fact that he's so fast. It's the fact that defense is going to be caught off guard, that he's not going to be taking a bunch of hits. And let's just hope for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. He does have to do a better job of protecting himself in the open field. That's something you hope he can grow into. But we've given Slidegate plenty of time. What do you say we move on to the next segment, Pop?
Yeah, just a real quick, I thought we could do just a super quick check-in on the other rookie quarterbacks, see where folks are at. We're not going to do a big breakdown. We've done that before.
Yeah.
But I thought it might be fun every time we talk Jayden just to talk about, the other rookies, how they're doing.
Yeah.
Other rookie first rounders.
So
run us through this quick.
Caleb Williams going pretty much exactly how you would expect the Caleb Williams thing to go so far. Some crazy highlights, some freakish talent, named starter in Chicago. All those off the field things seem to have evaporated as I told you they would months ago. Go back, check the tape. Stupid stories. People are bored because this guy's the most guaranteed draft prospect that we've had in the last couple of decades. Drake May has shown flashes as well, still battling with Jacoby Brissett. It sounds like the Milton thing is starting to fade there. Yeah. I think people are starting to be like, guys, come on. We know why we took May at number 3, and May is an incredible talent. I'm still behind that. JJ McCarthy out for the season with that knee injury. You hate to see that. That sucks.
He was looking pretty good.
Yeah, he was starting to put it together in Minnesota. Obviously, you got KOC there, great coach, understands quarterbacks. Still a good fit, but who knows? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. He gets to watch for the year and really be ready to hit it ground running next year. So Sam Darnold will be the starter, which impacts me because I'm thinking about drafting Justin Jefferson in fantasy football. I really got to have to think about that. Bo Nix named the starter in Denver. Bo Nix has looked good, man.
Yeah.
Bo Nix has looked good. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Michael Penix obviously going to be starting off sitting behind Kirk Cousins. It seems like Kirk is on pace for week 1, right, Pop?
Yeah, but what was interesting about Penix is he didn't play in the last preseason game. That raised a lot of eyebrows. Like, not only did Kirk not play, but Penix didn't play. So what are they doing? Everyone's kind of wondering what the heck's going on there. Like, if he's sitting behind Kirk, why wouldn't you play him?
I think that's smart. I think if there's some kind of setback with Kirk or if whatever, you want to make sure Penix is healthy. I don't think we should start Mariota. I don't think Mariota should play.
What about your boy Taylor?
Yeah, he's there.
Backup.
Yeah, you let Heineke do it. Well, obviously Heineke's not the plan. Obviously Heineke's not the plan down there in Atlanta. Come on now. But yeah, obviously that's the check-in on
if you want the Taylor Heineke debate, go back 3 or 4 pods. We already did that.
Never forget what he did for this city. All right, should we wrap this thing up, Pop?
We should. That was a good one.
All right, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Guys, if you've enjoyed it, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, drop in the comments what you want to see us talk about next. We will definitely talk about it in pre-pro, maybe get to it. And, next week, we're going to have to do schedule predictions, and then it's bombs away, right?
Crazy. Be here before we know it.
Here before we know it. It'll be over before we know it. So strap in, get on the Dom and Pop ship while you can. Subscribe, headed to the moon. Let's wrap this thing up. Without further ado, I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
And thanks for watching, everybody.